Hello everyone, welcome back to Tin and Max. My name is Tin of Tin and Max, and today we're going to be kind of going over everything we know about the Dead Space remake. Earlier yesterday, day I'm filming this, but yesterday there was a live stream from the developers of the Dead Space remake, EA Motive, and they kind of talked about it a little bit. They even showed a little bit of very early build gameplay. But as we know on this channel, the Big Dead Space fans. Don't know which arm it's on. Anyway, and they talked a lot about what we can expect from it and announced some really cool stuff. And I just want to go over that now. So, if you're not aware, Dead Space was announced to be getting a remake in July via EA Motive, the same people that made the same developers behind what was it called, Star Wars Squadrons, the recent one. So that's pretty exciting. It's coming out next year. It is exclusively for next gen hardware, like the PS5 and the Xbox Series X. Is that what it's called? I'm gonna go with yes. And this is kind of the first real information we've gotten about it since the initial teaser trailer, which was exciting, but it didn't really say anything except for that it was happening. So yeah, I got a list here of things, everything we know, and we're gonna talk about it. First thing they mentioned was that they put together basically a council, I think is what they kept calling it, of Dead Space fans, like hardcore Dead Space fans, and they kind of got to, they get to see everything, all the ideas and hear about all the stuff and play the game and all that stuff first, and kind of give their feedback. And the developers emphasized that it can be as harsh as it needs to be. They really want this to be a game for the fans, and as a fan of the series, I kind of love that. Obviously, not every there's no like specific fan that can speak for the whole fandom and whatever, but it's still really cool that they decided to do that and kind of weigh their ideas in a pool of actual Dead Space fans. Just a couple little things real quick. It will be running on the Frostbite engine for anyone who's into that kind of technical stuff. I think they announced this before the live stream, but they reiterated it during the live stream. There will be zero microtransactions. With EA, you gotta ask. It's EA after all. One of the cool things they talked about is that they basically want zero loading in the game. They want it to feel like one continuous, unbroken experience. So basically, you can sit down and play through the whole game without seeing like a loading screen or like anything that kind of breaks you out of the immersion. Kind of like God of War did the whole like one camera the whole time thing. Kind of like that. So that'll be real cool if they pull that off, which I'm hoping they will. We now know that there's going to be a couple quality of life fixes, which I'm really excited about. I don't think they talked about Kinesis, but they did talk about zero G sections, which, by the way, I just played through Dead Space on this channel. There's a link somewhere on the screen. I'll put it at the end of the video. You can watch my whole playthrough of the game. It's one of my favorites. The zero G sections, they're a little weird because you just kind of jump between spots. In the later games, it's more of like, as Max describes it, an Iron Man thing where you're kind of like, you have thrusters and you kind of float and fly through the zero G sections. They will be implementing that for Dead Space 1's zero G sections, which is really cool. They even show some footage of it. I'll probably have it on the screen right now while I'm talking about it. As you can see, it's a lot more fluid, and it's basically the Dead Space 2 and 3 version of zero G, which is again a nice little quality of life improvement. Now, another thing that is something playing through Dead Space 1 again, I really missed was the ability to like take the blades of the necromorphs and the claws and whatever and shoot them back at necromorphs as a projectile. It's technically possible in Dead Space 1, but it doesn't work as well as it does in the later games. They are fixing that or implementing it. So you can now impale monster necromorphs like you could in Dead Space 2 and Dead Space 3, which something I'm really excited about. They also, again, it'll be on the screen as I'm speaking, but they showed a little bit of the current build they got going on. Showed off some of the lighting. Apparently, they are using some of the original assets from the first Dead Space team, and they're just kind of building upon it, adding a lot more details, changing the lighting. They did mention that they want the audio to be very immersive, which is a good thing because that's one of the best parts about Dead Space is how good the atmosphere and the audio is. And if you can't nail that, don't bother. But this is, again, early build, but it's looking really good. Now, for something kind of new that they brought up, they're implementing the system that they called peeling, which is kind of hard to describe. I would recommend watching the streams kind of for this because they go over quite a bit. But basically, it's a system that will show more physical damage done to the necromorphs, aside from like taking off limbs. Like you can blow off chunks of skin and flesh and muscle and whatever, and like expose the skeleton underneath. And as you can see on the screen right now, they have like a whole like under layer for the necromorph model, and it's supposed to be very precise to like where you shoot your gun, and it can even like make it easier to like it seems like to dismember the necromorphs using this. Like you shoot off a bit of the flesh, then you get the bone, and then bam, you're done, which I think is really cool. I think it's going to add a lot to the immersion. It's going to look cool, it's going to feel good, and I don't know, I think it'll add to like the whole necromorphs feeling unstoppable and creepy because like you're literally blowing chunks off of them while they're running at you. So very cool. They talked a little bit about how there will be new story elements. It was very vague, but they're talking about expanding upon the side characters like Hammond and Kendra, and getting more of a sense of what Nicole went through during the Ishimura breakout, whatever that means, whatever that'll look like. But hey, I'm always down for some more Nicole. She doesn't really get a lot to do in the first game, so hey, more power to you. Now, I think I can't speak for all Dead Space fans, but one of my biggest questions going into this, or when this was announced, was will Isaac speak in this one? For those of you who don't know, Isaac Clarke, the main character of the first Dead Space, was a silent protagonist, which, looking back on it, I think is a really weird choice because all this stuff's going on, characters are talking to him, he just doesn't react really. He just kind of stands there not saying anything, which is a weird choice, like a fully 3D realistic game like this. This time he is fully voice acted. They did make sure to note that like they don't want to break the immersion too much, so it's not going to be like he's thinking to himself at all times. He'll basically only talk when being spoken to or in times where it makes sense for him to speak. Again, kind of vague, but I do like the idea if he's not just like narrating everything. Something like that works well in like the Batman Arkham games, but it doesn't work super well here. And another really exciting part about that is Gunnar Wright, the voice of Dead Space in Dead Space 2 and 3, is returning to the role, which is awesome because like I honestly would rather him be mute than not be Gunnar Wright. I love Isaac as a character, and I love Gunnar Wright as Isaac. So yeah, he was even in the video here, as you guys can see it, announcing it himself. That's exciting. I love that. So yeah. Oh, one more thing I forgot to mention on my list. They did say they want the game to connect to the larger Dead Space universe, world, like future games and whatever, in a more cohesive way. Because obviously at the time of the original Dead Space release, it was the only Dead Space. But now there's Dead Space 3 and 2, and you kind of know where the story goes, so they can kind of drop hints to that. They kind of implied that it would be in small ways and possibly some bigger ways. Again, very vague. But, you know, I'm all for that. I love that kind of like world building. And I think that's something Dead Space did really good in the first place, was world building. But now with, hindsight, they can do a little connective stuff going on. And I'm excited about that. So, yeah, that's everything I feel was kind of important about the most recent thing and currently everything we know about the remake. Yeah, this has me feeling a lot better about it. Not that I was like worried, but like it's they're taking one of my favorite franchises and remaking it. And a lot of people even question if it was necessary, and it still might not be, but I think if they do enough interesting stuff with it, it'll at least be worth the price of admission. So yeah, those are my current thoughts and all the new stuff. If you're interested in the remake, let me know down below. If you have any thoughts about any of it, what do you think they should implement, what they should maybe take out. I hate the ADS thing, but I feel like it would be hard to just remove that whole section of the game. But I hate it, so that's my 2 cents. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I think Max and I are gonna try and branch out a little bit more, so there's more on this channel than just gameplay. Obviously, comics for casuals is one of the things. I'm still doing that. They take a while, so I gotta do them in my own time. I do have a special kind of comic for casual in the work, so check that out when that happens. We might do some more stuff talking about like movies and comics and kind of more of this more meta video game stuff. We just want to do more interesting things. So if you have any ideas for us, let us down. Let us know down below. And yeah, thanks for watching. I will see you in whatever we upload next. Bye.